Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate how to build out progressive display in the Kuali Form Designer system. So I'm in a close request form, and if we look down here, we have this completed as planned question. If we open this up and look at our question, completed as planned, question mark, and our options are yes or no. So in this scenario, maybe this has been out and live for a while, and the admin has identified that when the answer is no, they really need some additional information. But they don't want a field to display if the answer is yes, because that's routine and they don't need follow-up in that case. So we want to set up a progressive display field that only displays when this question is answered no. So we're going to get out of there, and now in this section where this question is, we're going to click Add Item. And we want this to be a text area because we want them to be able to add a decent explanation. And we can put here, why was your research not completed as planned? And put a field key of not completed explanation. And so we have that there, and we can kind of see what this field would look like up here. But we're going to scroll down, and now we have this progressive disclosure option. If I press the plus button, I have a drop down here, and this includes all the fields in the template that are in this particular form, and I can base my logic off any of them. But we want to base it off the completed as planned gadget. So we're going to select that, and now we have two additional drop downs. We can do is or is not, but we want this field to display when completed as planned is answered no. And so now we have this statement, completed as planned is no. Whenever this statement is true, this field will display. We can add another field here, and we can add several of these statements that the system is going to check to see if they're true or false. And we have the option up here, now that we have multiple lines, of doing any or all. If we select any and we put in 3 or 4 different lines, then if any of those lines are true, then this field will display. If we select all, then every single line we enter has to be true in order for the field to display. And this is how you build more involved logic. But in this case, we just want it to be the one statement, so I'm going to delete my second line. We have this here. I'm going to hit save. Then I'm going to save my overall template. And now we can go into view mode. And view mode allows us to kind of test and see what the template will look like before we publish it. If we come down here, we can see that I was in here earlier and playing around. And so we can see no is there and this is displaying, but we want to make sure that it doesn't display if we choose yes. And we can see that when we have yes, that particular question does not display. If I choose no, now we have this follow-up question. Now, you'll notice that it still appears in the order that it is in the template. So this lets you build out logic in different parts of the template. You might have a question at the beginning of a fairly long protocol template that drives display much later on. Maybe you want an appendix form added to the very end of your form experience. It's not actually close to the question. And so this allows you to do that. But we could go back to edit and say we want this text field to show up right after the question that it's based on. And so now we can go back to view and we can see that the follow-up question is right next to the completed as planned. So this is a little bit of how you can build out progressive disclosure. I hope that this quick display of the interface helps the articles that we have on Form Designer and progressive disclosure make a little bit more sense. So now I can publish my template, and I will confirm that. And now anyone who does a closeout action on an IRB will get this question with this progressive display logic. Thank you very much.